Hey, what's up, guys? This is JZNES back again with another video, and it's not the video you probably think it is because today we're talking about Rayman on PS1. Now you say, John, hold on a second. You say, John, what inspired you? Why are you playing Rayman on PS1? And I say to you, sir, no, I didn't play Rayman again on PS1 because that game is impossible. But guess what? I did the impossible in 2014. I saw a video today talking about Rayman 1. And I love that game. I as much as I fucking hate that game, I love that game so much. It's my favorite Rayman game. I don't like the new 2D or 3D Rayman fucking games. You know, 2 and whatnot. The game they ported a billion zillion times. I think it's fine. It's okay. It's an alright game, like, but it doesn't deserve all the praise that it deserves. Like, I think the first game, like, can I say that? Because it's like, I imagine, I understand why nobody likes the first game, because it's so hard. It kicks your ass so tough into the ground. But it is, like, one of the greatest PlayStation 1 games, which is hard to say because there's so many great PlayStation 1 games. But two of my favorite games of all time are fucking PlayStation 1 games. Possibly more. I'm just not thinking of it right now, but at least two that I can think of. Maybe my top 5 games of all time are PlayStation 1 games. One's kind of over here, too, and I'll get to that in a second. I'm going to talk about this as well here. Yeah. But yeah, it's okay. So the new Raymans, let's just talk about that quick. Like 2 and I guess 3 was in 3D. That's not the way I played 3. I played 3 on the Game Boy Advance, so it was in 2D. That's another good 2D platforming game. Also very hard, but not way less hard than Rayman fucking 1 here, which is, I'm gonna say, the hardest game that I've ever beaten ever. In the history of games, all those NES games, every single NES game, and all the ones that I've beaten and whatever, none of that is as hard as this game. Which is crazy to say. I mean, the NES is known for its legendary difficulty. And you guys are probably like, oh man, John, I played Rayman. I played the first 2 worlds. It's not that hard, John. I beat the worlds. And yeah, did you get any farther than that? No, you didn't. Did you get to the end? Did you get all the fucking Electoons or whatever? Is that what they're called? Electoons? Yeah. That sounds like if you crossed Electman and like Looney Tunes or something. This is a little quiet, isn't it? Alright, anyway. So, yeah, so Rayman 1. So that's my history with the series. Is I played this one first, obviously. I mean, not obviously. A lot of people probably played fucking Rayman 2 first. It's like they played 2 of every other game first and said, oh, it's the superior one by the logic that I played it first or whatever. Maybe that's what I'm doing too, but here's the thing. Like, okay, and I did play Rayman 2 and I played it back in the day. Maybe not as soon as everyone else did or whatever. I had it on the PC for a second there, and then I got the N64 version that I was playing more recently. And it's weird. What's weird about Rayman 2, this isn't a review of Rayman 2, but it's not even really a review of Rayman 1. I just want to talk about Rayman 1 because, like, I mean, I might review some aspects of it, but I am not fresh with this game. Last time I played it was 2014. I saw a video today talking about it, and, you know, and I've always wanted to talk about the game, but I've never, like, I never thought it was appropriate to talk about the game for a specific reason. That reason being that I never wanted to go back through the game again and actually complete the fucking game again, because to beat the game, you have to complete the game, which is kind of funny. I don't know if the completionist ever did this game. I hope he does someday, just to give me all this, satisfaction or whatever of beating the game. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust the soundtrack so you can actually fucking hear it, because it's one of the greatest PS1 soundtracks of all time. Another big statement here. And I know that's bold stuff to say, but, like, goddamn, this soundtrack is incredible. That's a video I should make someday. Top 10 PS1 soundtracks, or just soundtracks in general. Soundtracks in general is going to be hard, but PS1 soundtracks would be a lot of fun to make, actually. I'm just copying Ken Icarus. Did he do that video already? Whatever. Who fucking cares? That was like years ago. I'll make my own top 10 PS1 soundtracks, and I'll have blackjack and hookers, and screw the whole thing. Anyway, but I think we all know what would be number one on the greatest soundtracks. It's hard though. It's really tough. This soundtrack is very variable in volume. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, so let's get back to Rayman 1. Well, no, here. God, I keep getting sidetracked. So I had Rayman 2. Didn't play the game, like, really in depth until, like, way later. That was, like, a year or two ago, or, geez, probably even 3 or 4 years ago now. God. But, like, I never beat that game. I tried to get to the end of Rayman 2. Rayman 3 I had as a kid on the Game Boy Advance, as I was talking about. There were some Game Boy Raymans, too, that I didn't have. But I had Rayman 3 as a kid on the Game Boy Advance, and I really liked that game. I had a lot of fun with that game. Never beat that game. I think I got pretty far into it, though. It's another one that I really want to get around to eventually here. And then, let's see. Rayman... What other Raymans are there? Well, then there's the new Raymans, which is why I want to get through all these games so I can get to the fucking new Raymans. Origins and whatnot. Not these rabid games. That's not Rayman. That's bullshit is what that is. But, that's the last there was of Rayman was Origins, and then Legends, I believe it was. It's called Rayman Legends. Like Mega Man Legends. Is that what it's called? I don't remember. Anyway, I had Origins for the longest time on the PS3, and I never fucking got to it, obviously, because I just wanted to get through these games first. It's part of the reason I played this one, also because it was haunting me since my childhood. Anyway, that's kind of like my experience with the Rayman games. Let's talk about Rayman 1. Now, where did I see this game for the first time? Well, my cousins had this game on their PC back in the day, and I remember us playing the ever-loving shit out of this game on the PC. When I say that, I mean that we played the ever-loving shit out of Worlds 1 and 2, because as far as I can remember, well, honestly, I don't know if that was just the demo attract mode that I remember of that, but maybe my cousins did make it to some of the later levels. Because I always remember seeing that level where it's in the dark and whatever, and you have to keep hitting the things to, like, I think that's what happens? I don't know. It's been a long time, alright? This is why this isn't a review. This is why I'm going to try my best here, but what is my reviews anyway, right? Well, I usually go pretty much more in depth into gameplay stuff, but there's not a lot to get into here. But, well, I mean, there might be, but we'll talk about that here in a minute. But so I saw them playing this on the PC. I played it, a lot then on the PC as well. I don't recall if we ever, like, borrowed it from them to install onto our PC. I think we probably tried that. I know we tried that with a few other games or whatever. But, it didn't always work because our PC wasn't, like, the greatest PC or whatever. But eventually, I got this guy here, this greatest hits copy of Rayman. And the reason I know that it was this one is because this is the one from my childhood. Yeah, this is, you can see all, like, the scuff. No, you can't really see that. Oh, yeah, there you go. That's a better angle. You can see how it's, like, all scuffed up there on the back. This is my original Rayman. God. That, like, over here. Yeah, where my finger is. That, like, scuff here. Anyway, this is my original copy. Oh, God. Can you see it? No, you can't really see that. Pretty scratched up because I didn't always take the best care of my games back then. The manual. Oh my god. Let's look through this manual. I gotta see if, I remember, okay, this is getting a little off track, but I remember in, fucking, here, maybe I should show some of the manual, or whatever. I remember back in, like, it's been like preschool or like kindergarten or something. I think it was like kindergarten or like first grade or something. I don't know. I went to this daycare, like, after school kind of thing. But I don't think that's what it was. It was during the summer, it must have been. But anyway, we used to just, like, look over this manual and, like, look at the screenshots and whatever, and then, just, like, I don't know, like, talk about it and, like, oh, Rayman's the shit, and we used to like fucking like go on and on about it, and we used to draw Rayman stuff, and I remember like the first time I ever used a copier, like to copy a picture was one of the pictures we had drawn of Rayman, and I think Mr. Dark or something, and like we draw this picture and we like wanted to copy it at this daycare or whatever, and they're like, I don't know about that, and then they like let us go and copy it or whatever. It was pretty cool. I just had vivid memories of that. Like, so Rayman was the shit back then, like this game even especially. But I think even then we knew how hard it was. Like, I never personally as a kid, and especially on that PC version, I even think on the PS1 version, I know on the PS1 version, never made it to the boss of the second world. Never made it to the boss of the second world. I think I was like maybe 4 or so levels into the second world. I don't know how many levels there are, but like the levels are kind of in stages or whatever, so it's kind of hard to keep track of like what levels are levels unless you like just played it. Which even if I had just played this game, those levels would be so far behind me at this point that I would like literally not even remember, because this game takes an eternity to get through unless you're like God at platforming or whatever. And I'm sure there's some people out there that are incredible at this game, and I'm not necessarily one of them. I mean, I'm good at the game because I have put the hours in to be good. That's the only reason I am anywhere near competent at this game, and I can't even imagine that my skills would even hold up now. But I will show proof in a second here that I actually did all of this. It's on this thing right here, my PSP. Actually, the reason that this isn't here anymore... Oh, sorry, over here. This isn't here anymore, this was the Kratos God of War PSP. The reason this isn't here anymore is because I was playing Rayman so goddamn much. I took to a movie theater one time. I don't remember what the fuck movie we saw. This thing came off during the movie. Oh, there's the music. Because I had it here to like kind of show in a second here, but let's not do that yet. So yeah, that's how I played it, was on the PSP. Let's keep talking about the childhood. So in my childhood, then I got the PS1 version. I never got very far in it. I spent hours and hours as a kid just agonizing over it. I took it to my friend Nick's house, not my new friend Nick, but my old friend Nick. I took it to his house, and we tried to beat it so many times. We tried to do so much stuff with it. We definitely put in cheat codes to get to like the later levels at one point, and I remember seeing some of that stuff, and I thought that was pretty cool. I remember some specific times about that, so that's pretty funny. But yeah, like throughout my entire childhood, sometimes I'd just like pop this game in and just like try and beat it. And I remember one of my cousins, we even one time, this is like way later on, I don't know if I was in like high school or middle school or something. Maybe I was still in elementary school. I think I was in like middle school at that point or something. It's around the time when I was finally playing Majora's Mask, so... Well, I mean, that's variable age. I don't remember exactly when I played Majora's Mask either. That's a good question. It'd be around the time I got my N64. It'd be a little after I got my N64, but... I don't know. Because it took me forever to play Majora's Mask, because I had to get the expansion pack, we had to order it online. That was like the first thing I ever ordered online. My mom had to get like one of her friends to do it. She doesn't, still to this day, doesn't like putting her information in online, which is understandable. But like, yeah, like, it was a pretty big deal for Majora's Mask. My point is, that's all like not related to Rayman. My point is, I remember I was playing Majora's Mask at the time. My cousin came over. Yeah, it might have been like 6th grade actually, because I remember she came over that once. But anyway, point is, we put in Rayman. I'm like, yeah, you remember this game? You were pretty good at this game, right? Like, let's see if we can beat this thing finally. And then we like use cheat codes to get to the end, or whatever, like to the last levels. I remember seeing those last levels, like in the, what do you call it? Like the, is the soundtrack already fucking over? What the hell? Or is this the boss theme? That's right. It's a different theme for the end of the game, I think, right? Yeah, this is only track 10. Okay, we're good. I feel like there's no way I've been talking this long. Yeah, it's a different theme for the end of the game. The last theme's cool, too. I haven't even talked about the soundtrack yet. I'm still talking about my memories as a kid. But I remember she came over one time, and we're sitting there trying to, like, beat this thing still, and we still couldn't even do it. And, you know, like, it's insane. This game is so hard. But then it bothered me for years. Like, it really did. It just kind of hung on to me. I always had this specific version of the game. It's one of my only games I have from my childhood. Actually, these might be the last two, like, games that I have from my, like, actual childhood. Like, from way back in the day. Like, games that I have. I have a ton of boxes from back in my childhood. I never got rid of those, and I'm really glad I didn't. But as far as games go, like, man, it was, like these two are, like, probably some of the only ones I have left. And this one almost died. Like, it literally was dead for a long time until we went and resurfaced it. I was very wary about getting it resurfaced because, like, well, what ended up happening was I was really stupid as a kid. I would leave it out like this or whatever, like this, or it ended up getting all fucked up and really scratched it. It was the most scratched up game I'd ever seen for the longest time, but this is my original Tomba case. I'll show that off some. I mean, I can show it off right now, but I'll show it off more in depth, you know, whenever I get around to talking about that game. I don't know where my manual went to. I did have the manual as a kid. I don't know where the fuck we got this game from, actually, because this is such a rare game now. Here's the inside artwork. It's so cool. Maybe my brother remembers where the fuck we got it, but I certainly don't. I have this vivid memory of some kind of, and maybe I'm wrong about this, maybe we never actually sent in for this, but I think it might have been Spyro that we actually sent in for on this contest. But, there was some, like, you send in a bunch of, like, things from a cereal box or something, you get a PS1 game, or you have to pay for it. I don't remember, I was a really little kid at the time. Now, my memory was that maybe, I believe Spyro was on there. I think that might have been the game that I actually got. But, like, for some reason I have this, like, vague memory of this being one of those games. So if I got this from a cereal box, that's pretty fucking cool. This is not related to Rayman at all. Hell, maybe it was Rayman. I doubt it, but maybe it was. Anyway, so Rayman on PS1. Oh, Bandland, nice. Anyway, Rayman on PS1. So, years and years later, this game was haunting me for years, and it was like one of the only games. I don't know why I had such this attachment to this game. It's because I played it as a kid or something, and the graphics were excellent. I mean, I think they're still some of the best PS1 graphics, 2D wise, at all. Like, in general, they're so colorful and vibrant, and like, damn, like they could put this game out now as a 2D, like, just remaster it, just up-res it a little bit, like, shit, it would still look fantastic. Like, it's still comparative to some stuff that they like, put out nowadays. Like, I think, the graphics are just incredible. They hold up super well. Like, it's so good. The animation and whatnot is so cool, too. It looks like you're, like, watching, or like you're playing, like, a Saturday morning cartoon from back in the day, but, like, better, almost looking a lot of Saturday morning cartoons from back in the day. So, god damn it, fucking happens every time I'm making a goddamn video. Somebody calls me that's, like, it's just a spam number or whatever. Alright, so, let's talk about Rayman 1. So, then, years later, in 2013, late 2013, God, I think it was like the summer of 2013. And I beat this game in February of 2014, mind you. Jesus Christ. It was at least fall. At least fall. The very minimum is fall. Because I was in school. I remember this. I remember this. I was sitting around in college sometimes. 2004. Was I in college then? Damn, I was. Yeah, for sure. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, because 2011. Okay, perfect. That works out. Anyway, I was sitting around in college and just, like, trying to beat this game. Like constantly. I'd sit there on my breaks just, like, playing it. Because I played it on the goddamn PSP. Now, okay. So Rayman is hard enough as is. That's what I'm getting at here. This is one of the hardest games I've ever played. Can you imagine playing Rayman on this screen and beating it this way? The only reason I did this was because it was portable. We didn't have the Switch back then, guys. Back in my day, we didn't have the Switch, nor did we have the Wii U. The Wii U wasn't even a concept in our minds yet. Or, well, Wii U was out. Then, goddamn, what am I talking about? I didn't have a Wii U at the time. Fuck. So, anyway, the Wii U was already out. 2014. Nobody liked the Wii U back then, I don't think. But anyway, I was totally wrong about that. The Wii U was already out. Anyway, so I used to play a lot of games on here in a Switch-like fashion. The Vita wasn't out yet, right? No, the Vita was out. God damn it. Everything was already out except for the Switch. The Switch wasn't out yet, alright? I used to play a lot of games on here, played the Spyro series on here, not for the first time. I played Spyro back in the day and whatnot, but I had a lot of those kind of games on here. Actually, if we can boot this up and go to the screen so I can show you guys what all I had on here. But I used to play games on here on my college breaks. I just remember sitting there and then dying and dying and dying again and again and again on the later levels of this game. Because I did eventually make it to them. Obviously, I beat the game. I made it past where I made it as a kid. I had all these games on there. You could see, as I say, you can see my nice Pinkie Pie background there from when I was a big fan of that. Oops. Nope, I didn't mean to start that. It's so hard to do with, come on, go back. So that was Final Fantasy 3. That's what I'm starting. That's actually how I played Final Fantasy 3, I believe. Yeah, I played it on here. I didn't play it on the DS. That's right. That checks out. That's how long I've been trying to fucking do these Final Fantasy games since 2014. Probably longer, honestly. I mean, that was probably before Rayman. It was definitely before Rayman. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, let me get back to the screen here. So, I played this game on the PSP, which is like one of the hardest ways to play it. The game is already hard enough as is. I just want to show off what I had here. Goddamn, I'm doing it again. No, don't do it. No, fuck. Alright, anyway. So, game's already hard enough as is. I should have just played it on the PlayStation, you know. Maybe not on here, because I have a digital version. Obviously, if I put it on the PSP, I would have a digital version. But, what's cool about PS3 and PSP compatibility here... Okay, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. So there's that. There's Rayman, of course. We got Tomb Raider. God, I never got anywhere in that fucking game. Spyro. Definitely 100% of that on here. I remember that. That was great. Symphony of the Night, which I never got around to, because I have to play the other Castlevania games. And Tomba, of course, which I did definitely play a shit ton of. Definitely ran through that on here a few times. But yeah. Dang. I mean, I love the PSP from back in the day. We'll talk about that here in a second. Let's show off my thing here. But, so, back in the day, that was kind of the way you took the Vita, or the Vita. That's the kind of the way you took portable PS1 games with you, was playing the PSP. And what's cool about that is there was a function where you could somehow transfer your save data to your PS3 or whatever on games that were like cross-compatible or whatever. Kind of like you would be able to do with the Vita later, except just with save files. But yeah, the cool thing was what I ended up doing at like near the end of the game, once I actually got to like the last few levels of the game, I transferred my save data back onto my PS3 and put it onto my TV so I could play through it that way. Like, I probably should have just done every time, but I don't remember how hard and cumbersome that process was or whatever. But basically, I played the whole game on the PSP because it was portable, and that was the best way for me to do it, because I was taking break. When I was in between my college classes, I would sit there and just grind at the game, you know? Because the game is just one giant grind if you're gonna, like, get good at it, which I was. And, you know, I'll admit, I did watch some YouTube videos or whatnot on, like, kind of how to get through certain parts, because the game's really hard. But doing it is a whole nother story. You can watch a video fine, but doing some of that shit is the hardest shit you've ever done in a game. Seriously, like, just like, it's mind-blowing, alright? I tell you, some of the stuff you have to do in this fucking game to like, make it through. But a lot of it I did on my own. You know, I'd watch the YouTube video once and like kind of understand sort of how to do it, and then I wouldn't be near that YouTube video for, you know, weeks at a time. I would just like go off and hang out with friends or something and play this game. I definitely remember some of the later levels. I was just sitting around. I sat around for like a whole day while my friend was playing like some other games, and I think we were playing The Last of Us or something, and I was watching him play that, and you know, I'd watched that game a bunch of times, so I was just sitting there grinding out some Rayman while I was doing that. And shit, I think I might have used the feature with the PS3 that time, because I definitely remember playing it on the screen that time as well. But anyway, not important. So I guess I did know about that feature. I just didn't use it as often as I probably could have. I didn't really have a second screen back then either. So what I would do is I would sit while I was playing this game. I would sit, and I remember specifically the one show that I remember watching the whole time was I watched the entire Kim Possible run. I'd never seen that show in its entirety. I'd seen it as a kid a little bit. It was always one of those shows like I never had that much interest in. But I heard a lot of good things later on, and so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna sit there and like watch this show, which became listening to the show as I played the game, because you can't like take your eyes off of this for more than a few seconds. So that's a show I probably should go back to and actually watch the show as well, because the animation is actually really good on that show. It's a good show. But I remember specifically I was sitting there watching through that while grinding through this game. Part of what ended up happening was, I'll just kind of say there's one way to make it through this game legitimately. Now, what kills me is I seen people, especially in the review I saw today, and I just like, oh, every time I see it, it just hurts me a little bit on the inside for how many hours I spent doing what they did in seconds. Apparently there's a code, and I didn't know about this. I thought the codes were only on the password screen, which I don't think you can use with the save files, or whatever, if you want your save file intact. There's a code, like there is in Spyro. I remember the Spyro 99 Lives code. There's a code, you just press start, and you put in some code. I still don't know the code, I haven't looked up the code, I probably don't want to. It gives you 99 lives wherever the fuck you want, you could be inside the level, and you have 99 lives at any point. Which makes me sick thinking about, because what I did it the hardcore way, and of course I did it on the PSP too. We talked about that. I would sit there and go through level 1, like thousands, hundreds, I don't know, probably tens of thousands, probably not that many, probably like thousands of times, literally thousands of times, maybe hundreds of times. I don't know how many times it was. It was probably hundreds. I'm probably just exaggerating here, but at least hundreds of times going through this level, because, well, no, it must have been thousands of times, because what happens is you go through the level. If you get all the tings in a special order, that's what they're called too, the things that would be coins in other games, they're little things called tings. They're tings, man. Tings. But anyway, they're tings. They're little blue orb things. You get those, you get 100 of them, you get an extra life. So what I did was, going through the first level, you can get like maybe 2 or so extra lives if you play it like perfectly and you don't die or whatever. And so I got so good at this level where I just went through, I just kept going through and getting extra lives, because I expect this is what they expected you to do, was just go through and get a bunch of extra lives on the first level. Because there's really no other way to do it. Extra lives are like insanely hard to get in this game. Like seriously. Like ridiculous. And I don't think they respawn after you get them once. Like real extra lives. Like the trophy extra lives. But you go through this level, and I think you can get maybe 2 or so lives. So think about that. I have to do that 50 times, essentially, to get to 99 lives. Right? Once I run out of lives. And I was stupid. I don't think it really would have made that much of a difference, but I was stupid and kind of ran out my continues, because you get 5 continues, which gives you 5 more lives. So you get that many lives. There's no way you can beat this game on just like 5 continues unless you're really good, and like I said, you're a speedrunner or some shit. You get 5 continues. What I did was I had already run those out by the time I like kind of thought of this trick or whatever. And then I would go back to the first level. I would save my game. You can save your game at any time on the overworld screens. You can't save it within levels, but you can save it on the overworld screen. So that's cool. So what I did was, I would go back through the level, I'd get my 2 lives, keep going, and I'd do that 50 times, I guess. If it was 2 lives, if it was 3 lives, it was less times, whatever. Still a lot of times for 99 lives. Every time I would beat a level, there's lots of levels in this game, at least like 30 or 40 levels in this game. And I did it way more times than that anyway, because, I don't know, because I did that. So, I'd have to go back through and get 99 lives again. Because inevitably, I would run out my 99 lives. I don't know, like tens to hundreds of times. I don't imagine I ran them, any of them hundreds of times. Maybe I did. I don't know. It was at least tens of times to complete one level. Because the thing is, you don't just have to beat the level. Like, if it was that, it wouldn't be so hard. What you have to do to get to the end of the game is get all of the Electoons, like I said earlier. So to do that is to go out of your way so drastically that you're going to be wasting so many lives doing this. Because they're like secrets. They're like hidden off in random corners. That's why I had to watch the videos of the thing beforehand. Because for me to have found these myself would just be beyond, Jesus Christ, I can't imagine how long that would have taken me. I'm not that hardcore, okay? If you want to be that hardcore, cool. I think it's enough of an accomplishment that I actually finished the game and did the moves and stuff myself, I think that's enough for myself. So, do you want to roast me in the comments for not doing that one specific thing? That's cool. But, so, yeah, I would have to go back and grind these 99 lives. Hours to just one time to get the 99 lives. After every level, hours to do this. Which I could have just done in seconds had I known this code. But guess what? That means that I did it fucking legitimately, bitch. I got this game locked down legitimately. Like I actually did it legitimately. I didn't use any codes. That's the cool part. No codes. I did it, Like, everyone else that has always used at least that code or like a level code or something. Apparently in the European version you can't use the level code to complete the game for you, so you can go to the final level, which is funny. So, yeah, but to find all these Electoons, I tell you, is an impossible task, which I have done. I've completed this task in 2014. Many of years ago. And it's a game I don't think I'll ever do again in that regard. I might fire it up someday to just kind of play through it again, play through parts of it again or something, but I'll never, ever do the whole game again. I don't think. Unless I just get really bored or something. But I have the accomplishment. I have the 2004. I have the thing. The ting, man. Actually, let's look at that quick. I'll show it on here too, but I have. Oh my god! Fuck! It already went away for me. Hold on, I'm gonna find it though. So yeah, I did this thing legitimately, and it's hard. It's really, really tough. That's pretty much the point of this video. Is I wanted to say that, but I don't know. We could talk about the game too. The music. It's perfect timing. Listen to this music. It's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful. It's some of the greatest video game music, And it's some of the best video game graphics from back then, and it's still quite an aesthetic. But the thing is, it's the gameplay, man. It's the gameplay that's the tough part. It's not even that the gameplay is like busted. The gameplay is just hard. It's really hard. The level design is like impossible. The gameplay is actually pretty tight, I would say. I would say maybe it's a little loose at some points, but it is pretty well done. It's just the fact that the game is just so hard, level design wise, And what the video said earlier is they probably didn't play test every single level running through it all together because it just wouldn't make a lot of sense unless they really did want to make it this hard, which I don't think they were really intending to do. But this is my end screen from back in the day. Legitimately, hold on. Can I? Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, come on. I clicked the thing. Just let me show this off. You can see like this is my old setup with my Super Nintendo and Atari 2600 and stuff under there. Games. You can see my NES Advantage down there. This is the old TV I used to play NES games on. Oh God. I get these Vietnam flashbacks. I hear this music and I just think of the boss or whatever of this world, because I think this is the music for the boss. That boss is insane. Just look up, like, watch this game being played. It's ridiculous. I wish I had some gameplay to show you, but I don't, because, you know. But this is my, sorry, I'm sitting here holding this up. This is my end screen. This is me beating the game. I actually sent, this is on Facebook, so I tagged my two cousins that I used to play the game with, that I'd had on Facebook at the time, and then I tagged my old friend Nick, and here's what I said back then. So this is February 28th, 2014. You three remember this hard as hell platformer from back in our childhood? Remember how I said it was impossible and none of us would ever beat it? That was probably something I actually said back then. Well, I did. No passwords, no cheats, legit committed mastery. I can finally lay this one to rest. It's been taunting me ever since we were kids, but I can finally say I beat Rayman 1 legitimately. And then my cousin commented on here and said, let's see. No way, I wish I still had this game on our computer. Congrats. Now you can die peacefully. Which is funny. That was 6 years ago. It's hilarious. Anyway. Yeah, I actually have a bunch of my old end screens from like back in the day. It's pretty cool. You know, bunch of those. Bunch of old ones. I bet I showed them off before. I actually did show those off before. Absolutely. So, anyway, put that back there. Oh God, yeah. So Rayman it's a really nostalgic game to myself, but also playing through it. You know, I had this thing where I had to finally get through it, and I did. I made it through, mostly on the PSP, which I'm gonna show you here in a second. Is the screen is so small, I don't know how the fuck I did this. You know? Oh, not videos. Let's go back to. Jam out to that music, man. So smooth. I have this soundtrack. It's amazing. I have this in my car. I have my CD or whatever. I listen to that a lot. I love that soundtrack. It's so good. So smooth. Oh, I missed it. But there's that old classic PlayStation startup screen. God, that's so nostalgic. It's funny how, like, now, GameCube is nostalgic to people. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, that's so, like... I mean, it's not that much farther on than PS1, especially some of these games. It's the old Ubisoft logo. That's cool. I always remember that. I mean, that's the Ubisoft logo I remember. You remember Ubisoft when they used to be good? No, I'm just kidding. They probably still make good stuff, but to some people. I'm just not that interested anymore. Okay, we're not going to watch the whole, like, opening thing. The evil Mr. Dark and the Great Platoon. Yeah, I know that theme. It's reading my memory card, which is not... It's technically a memory card, kind of. It's a, you know... Sort of. So you can use the password or you can use the memory card, which I've obviously used my stick here. But here's the thing. That's it. That's the legitimate save file from back in the day. It even says 100%, which is awesome. And I think 100% is just get all the Electoons before the final level or something, because
I don't understand how they could like have saved you after the final level, because I don't think this is one of those games that says, hey, like, you want to save after the final level kind of thing. So 100%. You can see that I have 98 lives there, which means I definitely did grind to get, 100 lives or whatever. Let's go in there and we'll like check this out. Oh yeah, you can change like your setup or whatever. I don't know. There's the evil Mr. Dark looking at you from up there. I mean, look at the animation. Like this, I know it doesn't really. We're like looking at it off of a fucking PSP screen, but it's still incredible. You see, I've like completed all of the goddamn levels here. I can't even barely see where I'm going here. Oh, go up. Oh, down. That's like a save point there. But you get the idea. Hold on. But yeah, anyway. So, I completed this game, which is awesome. Let's go. I'll show off that I can go to the final level here. That way you can see. I mean, not any doubts at this point, but I'm just getting 100% of this shown because there's the final level, which is awesome. But yeah, I like legitimately played through this fucking game at one point. There's the little screen. They had these little like screens before each level too. It's so cool. It's like so cinematic. Here, watch this. I'm gonna die like instantly. But you get the idea. Yeah. Hold on. It does look pretty fucking good on here. I hit the button. I don't know. It does look pretty good on. It's how you jump, right? Okay. Yep. Fuck. Okay. The other thing, there might be some kind of input delay on the fucking PSP or something, so I played it the hardest way possible was my point. Because it's just not optimally kind of meant for, stuff like that. It worked, though. I did it. I mean, mostly on the PSP, so it's so much harder. But, it's a cool game, is my point, I guess. But what's crazy about this game is that it's just so hard, And it gets really hard after the second world, which I never made it to. I never made it to as a kid. I never made it past the Bandland. You get to, like, the mountain world. You get to, Jesus Christ, what's even after that? I don't know. There's, like, caves and stuff that you go through. Picture City or whatever, which is, like, visually just incredible. Musically incredible. Some of the hardest goddamn levels I've ever played. Spikes everywhere, and just, oh my god, platforms, it's little rings that you have to hit precisely. Oh, it's so tough, but the game is a gem, I'm such a, I don't know, it's such an awkward relationship with this game, because it's like, I love this game, but I hate this game all at once. I love it because all the stuff that I've mentioned, and even the gameplay is a lot of fun, but you just get to a point where you're like, man, this is impossible, and why am I doing this to myself, And it's pretty much that point is, World 3, so, not World 3 from, Mega Man Battle Network, which I need to get back to, I know, but I just kind of want to make this side set thing and just, like, talk about Rayman for a second, because the game is really cool. There's a lot of, like, really unique stuff about the game, a lot of which I don't even, like, I can't even, like, put into words or whatever, like, 'cause I can't even think of all this stuff. I haven't played the game, I'm not fresh on the game, but I just remember really loving this game, and, I just wanted to kind of show off that I'd finally, beat it in 2014, but I have the technology to show that off better now. Is this the music? No, this is still a boss fight. I think this is from the Scorpion boss fight later on. Oh, I gotta talk about the bosses. They're fucking ridiculous. I think I said that already. There's a Scorpion boss. There's like this, I don't even know what you call her, like this like, painter lady boss that's like impossible. She's an opera lady, isn't that it? She's like an opera singer, and she's like this little spaceship that fucking is annoying as shit. There's the Maestro guy from that level. There's like
just like a big rock man from the, not rock man like Mega Man, but god damn, everything's come back to Mega Man. I really need to play that game. Apparently it's on my mind subconsciously. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but I'm playing Persona 4. That's kind of why I've been delayed up on finishing the, like, going back to Battle Network and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to make it back to that for a minute. I'm going to take a little break, I think, from that. I try to head back to that after I play a few other games. I mean, geez, I've got some big RPGs on my list kind of coming up. This is from the final level. Jeez, it's ridiculous, the final level. So yeah, there's that. But Rayman is ridiculous. The cool thing about the final boss, too, don't worry, I'm not spoiling it for you because you'll never make it there. So I am spoiling it for you, but not too much. It's this kind of like a mishmash of all of the other bosses. It has like little parts from all of them or whatever, which is like pretty cool. It's got one of the most like epic final boss themes too. I wonder if we can like just get to that because I'm running out of things to say without having. There we go. Without having played the game recently. But yeah, one of the like most epic final boss themes, and it's like it's a pretty epic final boss actually. It's just really cool. Very worthy for the entire journey. You really feel the accomplishment after fucking beating the final boss. You know, it's a nice send off to all the other bosses that you fought, and kind of a little reminder of every world that you went to and whatever, because it literally has like a part from every other boss. And once you finally beat it, you feel triumphant because you went through, I don't even know how long it would have taken me, but just like, you know, probably hundreds of hours of, I mean not hundreds, but like maybe 100 hours of just like sitting there and grinding through the game, and definitely grinding out lives and whatnot where I could just use the code, but I didn't use it, and I beat the game legitimately, so fuck yeah, you know? That's the game over theme there. You know what? I'll just okay, let's get out of. Can I exit this? Okay. I don't think I can exit this. Can I? As I say, can we maybe I can show it's like one of the levels or something, so I can just kind of show how the game works, and then we'll call it a day because I don't really have much else to say. I just want to talk about my memories with Rayman and whatnot, you know, and kind of give some of that off because I got a little nostalgic after seeing that video today. I'm like, hey, you know what? I need some content for this here channel. And I mean, the channel is a lot about nostalgia, you know? It's about me playing through games and playing through new games, really, but getting through old games as well. Going back, and the replays series is kind of my way to sit there and tell you about my memories about these old games, like the Battle Network series that nobody ever talks about, and it's a really underrated series, you know? It's just like, I need to really get to it. I need to actually play Battle Network. Maybe I'll make that a priority, but I don't know, like, I can't imagine this is going to be very easy to play, like, that's pretty cool. That's what happens when you die. You're gonna hear that a lot. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the first level. That way I can actually maybe handle playing this at the same time as showing it off. I suppose I could have just shown like some of the bosses or whatever, but whatever. Not a big deal. I think this is the first level.
Hi, folks. Wanna know what's
Oh,
going on?
maybe skip this. That's just the opening. Nice. Syncs up really well. Alright. So here's the game. This is you. You got a fist thing there, you can upgrade that and whatnot. There's little power-ups that'll give you like more hearts or little things. I've already got 5. I must have had those from a different level or something. You got this little hovery thing. You can do that. You can hang on to stuff. I don't know. There's not really a platform in here I'm going to be able to hang on to, I don't think, but... Oh yeah, I can hang on to this probably. There you go. You can hang on to stuff. There's little rings that you can like punch your fist into and whatnot. I don't think there's any on this level, but it's pretty cool stuff. It's a good game. It's just really fucking hard. Really fucking hard. But I did it. I did it. I made it through. I did it. And this greatest hits PS1 copy of Rayman would be proud. And it is proud. Because it's still here. It's not gone. Like most of my other games from my childhood. But I've gotten them all back. Well, for the most part. Any of the ones that are worth getting back. I think I have them all back. I can't. You know, the funny thing is, I really didn't play that many games as a kid that I like remember. It's most of the stuff I've already talked about. Pokemon and Dragon Quest. And, you know, Tomba and whatnot. The Zelda games and whatnot. Those are my jams back then. You know, I didn't have all the games in the world or anything, and now I don't even have all the games in the world. But I have the ones that I'm interested in, that I want to play. You know, so that's what really matters. At the end of the day, you don't need a bunch of extra crap in your collection. You just need what's the bare essentials. Meaning that every NES game is the bare essentials, including all of the Fisher-Price games and Color a Dinosaur and I can't think of any other really bad one. Oh, Mario's Time Machine and Mario's Missing. Definitely all essential games for your collection. I thought about selling those before, but you know, the hardest part is going to be selling any individual game out of there, and then past that, it's just like, all right, well, I don't have the full collection anymore anyway. So I don't know. Just talking about Rayman, JZNES. Play Rayman, give it a shot, see how hard it is, and then give up. If you want to play through it, use the 99 lives code, please. Don't waste your time going through the first level again and again. Just know that I did, and you did not, so I can hold that over you. This has been JZNES saying keep it classic, stick around for more reviews, underrated games. Watch the Two Dudes in a Nest podcast, because I'm going to be on there again for Stanley, Dr. Livingston, search for on the NES. That'll be, I don't know, in a few months or something. I don't know when the hell they're going to get to releasing that, because we haven't even done it yet, but it's supposed to happen at the end of this month. But anyway, check them out, because they're awesome. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep it classic. Stick around for more reviews on underrated games. JZ out. Bye.